until you have collected both Triforces, because we're counting not Triforce pieces, just entire Triforces.
Yeah, correct. We need one. We need 3 Triforce pieces, but they're all in the same room.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got flippers.
Oh, no,
Oh, that's the worst thing to find in the Sank. Like, the very worst. Because if you were planning on hula hanning, good luck.
Yep. Well, that could change our strategies a little bit. I don't know if either of them like to do the hula hand route or not, but Christos with the nice Uncle Start. I really like this play. Gets a poultry as well as 2 items and will likely head up to Sanctuary and proceed to follow in Jet's footsteps. But 5 rupees. Oh, a nice bomb drop from the little green worm there. I forget what his name is called. Gonna get the pull item, just hearts. Or sorry, the bush crab item, just hearts. And a lumberjack check from Jet. Just a red rupee.
All right, I'm glad you saw that because my eyes were not on point today.
And the flippers for Christos. So there you go. Hopes and dreams of an early hula hand done for. But
I know
you can still do it without the flippers. It's just you need some.
But you need the glove, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I know some people who will, if they're playing on hula handing, will actually skip that first chest in case it's the flippers. But yeah, it's such a low chance of it being the flippers. What do you expect, right?
Right. Big key.
So there we go.
Yeah. And we already had the big key to Thieves Town, so lots of big keys early. Now Christos will not be going to do the lumberjack check, so we'll not have that knowledge that Jet does, but we'll likely see him either check that at some point in the future when it's convenient, say coupling with the bumper cave check or over to the graveyard ledge.
Right. I don't expect a lumberjack check until you've got some amount of items that would lead you that direction, like at least one of the castle tower keys, a lamp, something to get in there.
And importantly, no Dark World access either.
Correct.
That is the only thing keeping Aga alive right now, is if we lack the tools necessary to enter the Dark World.
So the great thing about Aga, though, is Aga Tower itself might also be on the table on account of 2 items being available in that dungeon thanks to Keysanity.
That's right. And
there's that glove we were talking about.
All right.
So if you wanted to hula hand, now you can again.
The Jet has enough bombs to finish up Kakariko and sitting at 70 rupees, so probably good for now on the rupee front. May do it if he chooses to go to Zora without finding any big rupee pickups.
If he gets any number of rupees in here other than the ones that are already here, he can buy the bottle vendor's item.
Right?
Unless that
pretty likely.
5.
He's going to be 10 short if he doesn't. Oh, look at that. Fairy in a bottle, so we'll be able to check the sick kid.
There's a Skull Woods key in the, what's it called? The chicken hut. And magic powder and quake in the well.
And of course, quake, not going to be usable until these runners find a sword. But still, potential access to both Mire and T-Rock. Yeah, the small key to Skullwoods, not really that useful. It will give you some minor route optimizations when you go do the dungeon, but you don't need any small keys as long as you don't burn any within the dungeon that are unnecessarily burned.
Now, if you happen to find 2 of them out in the world, though, that sort of, and you've got the fire rod, it sort of indicates you might need to go to Mothula.
Yeah, that's right, because the logic expects you to burn the keys in the worst way possible. So you need 2 keys for the logic to consider Mothula to be beatable. Of course, if it is a crystal, you're gonna have to go there eventually anyway. But if it's a pendant and you have like no Skullwood small keys, it may divert you away to put that off as long as you can.
All right, 1. All right, so we've got people kind of covering their own tracks.
Right. And we didn't see Jet buy the bottle vendor item, but Christos, sitting at 121 rupees, you will likely see that check from him. And just a map in the Lumberjack Cave. Yep, here it is, Christos with the bottle vendor. It is a small key to Turtle Rock. That's one less that could be on the pedestal. Looks like just a map from the race game as well. Now, in Keysanity, the maps do give you crystal and pendant info, but it's pretty hard to find a justification to go out of your way when it's like so far away. Here you go, Jet, taking that power glove to use and heading down to check the back of the escape. This is a very, very fast 3-chest check. I really like this play. See what he finds. Oh, and Christos also, small key to Ganon's Tower, red rupee, and another big key to Pod. That'll be useful for later. Of course, currently no access to Pod because we are lacking Dark World access. Still need the Hammer, Moon Pearl, or potentially the Pearl and Titan's Mitt. So Jet done with the Kakariko check. We'll be heading over to the dam, and Christos close behind, going to check the back of escape as well, pick up his big key to Pod. Still quite a bit to check in Sphere 0 here. Got 2 items here in the dam, 5 over in Mini Moldorm Cave, Ice Rod Cave, as well as like the Eastern Palace area. And 100 rupees, oh man, I would Jet probably hoped he had that earlier to check that bottle vendor item. But that's an easy item to go back and get once you have your Dark World access. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of 3. So Jet will need another victory in order to advance to the finals, and whoever wins this will face the winner of Andy versus Pika Bounce. Whoever wins this best of 3, not this match specifically. And Christos is going to head to the escape sequence, lacking like any weapon other than bombs. This is quite a play. I know, me personally, I look for at least like the hammer or something in order to go for it. But man, Christos definitely has the V29 skill to finish the escape with bombs only. And oh no, Jet takes a death. Oh, but he has the fairy in the bottle.
Yeah,
probably
the
would be hoping. Yeah, probably would have hoped to keep that fairy for later, but prevents an awful death here. Jet down to 2 bombs after that.
All right, so interestingly enough, we also found the small key to Desert in the back of or in the escape proper here. And it was in a chest that's not locked by the Hyrule Castle small key.
Yeah, that's right. So, once we find that book, who knows, maybe it'll be hiding away in Ice Rod Cave here. Could put Desert on the table. And yeah, that small key definitely makes like coupling the first half of Desert with like Agina's Cave and all that very appetizing decision. Christos sitting at 1 heart, but we'll be able to use pot strats and get some health refills here. It's going to have no issue at all.
Certainly
and
nothing
maybe
wrong with pot strats.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a Death Warp. Oh, that was the big key to Turtle Rock and Ice Rod Cave.
And the big key to Misery Mire over on the left.
And we're getting all the big keys this game, Bob.
What's up with all these big keys?
And where are all the small keys, man? At least the useful small keys. We got, what, 1 T-Rock small key, a Desert small key, and not much else that's actually useful.
I think I saw the pod small key in there while I was...
Look, there's another big key on the island.
What? Of course, you're going to need a mirror before you can get a hold of that, and some way of reaching the Dark World. I mean,
So,
yeah, Eastern Palace is pretty much always a play in Keysanity. It's very rare that you get to skip Eastern and go somewhere else.
oh wait, there we go. A small key, a pod small key. All right, need
All right.
at least 4 of those to full clear the dungeon, provided you have the bow and the hammer. But having more, the better. You'll be able to do faster strats and not run around and loop around like crazy over the right side that's bow locked. Now here's an important divergence. So Jet, having checked Mini Moldorm Cave, has 500 rupees and is going to head straight from Hobo up to the Zora area. So there's 4 items up here to be able to check. Now Christos, still sitting at 41 rupees, looks like he's opting to head over to Sastrala and possibly Eastern Palace after.
Yep. So there's 9 items locations over here. You can't actually access all of them at the moment. You would need the big key of Eastern to access 2 of them, and 1 of those you would need the bow for. I guess there's 10 if you count Sahasrara himself.
Turtle Rock Green Pendant. Oh, and there's the Cane of Brian on the ledge.
Brian, why are you leaving your cane lying around?
And there's the Moon Pearl. 1 step closer to Dark World access.
I look into my crystal ball and I see Dark World in your future.
It's Titans!
So there's that Dark World access we were talking about.
Oh man!
Both of our runners don't have it, but it's here.
Well, Christos will be able to get his required 500 rupees by the time he heads over to Moldorm Cave, which is definitely something you'd want to check before heading all the way up to Zora.
Did Jet do the Houlihan room eventually, or
No, there is a ton of rupees locked away in Mini Moldorm Cave.
okay? So just all the money you can stand. Got it.
Yep.
Now this does beg the question. Oh my goodness! I was gonna say, does Jet leave Sahasrara as soon as he finds the Moon Pearl? But I sure hope he doesn't. Because there's the bow.
A semi-default bow. So still lacking the big key to Eastern Palace, so still cannot. At least,
don't worry, it will be in the actual vanilla chest.
No, I refuse to believe. Alright, is Jet gonna save and quit out? Nope. Going to continue on to Eastern Palace, so good for him. Avoiding a potential disaster there.
The only way I might leave there, in my opinion, is if I had the mirror. That way I could come back and hit pod and then finish Eastern while I'm there.
Yeah, good point. Now, this chest coming up after this room for Christos is the only one currently in logic, lacking the lamp. It will not expect you to do any dark. Oh,
Rod!
hello, Fire Rod.
Speaking of dark rooms, I mean, that doesn't put dark rooms in logic, but it makes them easier.
Definitely. You know what we were saying earlier on? 2 small keys to Skull Woods. Like maybe if you had the Fire Rod, they'll push you there. Well, got the Fire Rod. So as of right now, potential 4 heart, Fire Rod, no sword Mothula? Anyone?
Ow?
I'd be shocked to see even Christos himself go for that.
Does the cane of Burna damage Mothula?
I think it does.
I mean, it's probably pretty difficult to get decent hits on it because you can't really control the direction.
Oh yeah, you can't even get to Mothula without sword anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Right, you do need the sword.
But the sword is going to be in the first chest in the second half, so there you go.
And one thing to remember is that in V29, there's a little bit of a difference in the way things are set up, right? So the whole thing where they made the map and the compass for the dungeon part of the requirement for the dungeon.
Right.
So now you're guaranteed to be able to find those before you actually finish the dungeon, which means those are going to be sort of more front loaded, and also if you find both the map and the compass for a place, you might start thinking, okay, this might be pushing me that direction.
All right, there's the first bit of rupees for Christos.
I say that because we found the map for Skullwoods in Eastern.
Yeah. So it would look like Jet has a bit of an advantage here going through. It's like, oh, busting out the Cane of Verna there. Take care of some of those enemies in the dark room. I like it. It doubles as like a location marker as well as just killing everything.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, Christos has done, Uncle has done the escape sequence, and Jet has not. So that's really what's separating them. Jet's been up to Zora, has that Titan's Mitt, has done Moldorm Cave and Eistrad Cave. And now Jet picking up bombos.
Christos been practicing his archery, let me tell you that. 4 shots, 4 kills on the mini Moldorms. They don't cooperate with you.
I mean, I can't even hit them with a sword when they're right in front of my face. Like, hitting them from across the gap. Very impressive, Christos. You show off.
So Christos goes from no money to all the money. And Christos will be able to check the 2 chests in the waterfall cave as he heads up if he decides to fake flipper.
Well,
wait, he doesn't need
to
fake flipper. He has real flipper. I have words, and I use them.
Yeah, and we saw Jet do the waterfall ferry a little bit earlier. I believe there's like a map and a heart container in there. And here you go, Jet. Off to Skullwoods.
I mean, it's not like they literally picked up the flipper's very first thing.
You're right. It wasn't. It was only the first thing for Jet. It was like
Correct.
the third thing for Christos, or fourth thing. Oh, look at that! Yeah, the big key to Turtle Rock. We already knew that was there. No big deal. And over on Jet's screen, you're gonna see the only useful. Oh, bee in a bottle. That's nice for Mothula. Eventually, once we find a sword. The only useful aspect of finding a small key to Skullwoods is
my goodness.
Finding everything here is using it to open up that key door right there and bypass having to go through the guaranteed small key location.
So I'm told that
another bottle.
It's required to be Kane or something like that. I think that's the meme.
It's yeah, all right. I'm not worthy enough of uttering the words of the certain person who really likes finding the game.
Yeah. All right, so Jet cleans out just the first part of Skullwoods, elects not to check the chest in the back, even though he just picked up the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, well, lacking any weapon to conveniently kill the blueberries or deal with the Gibdos, well, he's got the fire rod, so he can do that, but not really any magic. I cannot blame him for this decision. That room really sucks.
That's true. All right, so ChristosOwen picks up the Titan's Mitts. That's going to make Dark World access a real thing.
Yep, Christos also opts to get the blue cane. Definitely the correct decision. That cane, lacking the cape, could be required for Spike Cave earlier on. And even for runners of this caliber, doing Dark World with Green Mail and 5 hearts can be scary.
Hey, there's a T-Rock small key.
All right, that's 2 of 4.
Where did Christos find his?
Wasn't it in that same room except in Light World? Or that same area? It was like Chicken Hut,
maybe.
or it was somewhere in Kakariko.
Chicken Hut had a Skull Woods one.
Yeah, I think one of the buildings. I cannot remember exactly which one.
Escape. Yeah,
Escape
that's
had
right.
it? Okay.
Yeah, because Christos has been to Escape. That would make sense. All right, so Christos is following Jet to the Dark World. This will be a pretty good sync.
And says, no, I am not touching Skullwoods until I get something that will make this a little bit easier.
Right. Jet finds a mushroom.
Hopefully they find the flute soon so they can make that trip over there. Oh, so once Jet
I'm
gets
being
out of
told,
the
I'm being told it's the bottle vendor that had the key.
bottle vendor, okay, yeah, I knew it was somewhere in Kakariko.
Which I actually remember Jet skipping it. Because he went and bought bombs instead. Found another pod key in Thieves Town.
Yeah, and unfortunately, only getting enough money to buy the Zora item, still lacking 100 rupees for Zora. I hope he gets it soon, because heading back to Kakariko just for the bottle vendor later on, like, it'll pretty much only be couple, like, once you get the flutes or you're heading over to blacksmiths type of thing.
Yeah, I figure he'll probably be like, okay, when I get the flute, I'll just kind of meh.
Yeah, and I hope he doesn't forget about it. Just having to put it off for so long. Yeah, so Jet continuing on into Thieves Town. It's still lacking a real weapon. And doesn't have too much magic, so the blind fight... Can he do the blind fight with no half if he doesn't get any magic refills? I don't think so.
No, I want to think there's a place you can get magic. Like, there's some right there.
Yeah, but like a full magic refill.
If nothing else, he could just go up and down these stairs picking up magic pots.
Yeah. Possibly see some Kana Samaria strats.
Or I think you'd have to actually leave the dungeon, so no.
Or I've never even considered this, but bomb strats for blind?
Don't think it works.
Is that doable? Is that doable?
Pretty sure the only things...
It's never even come up as a thought for me, like, having to do that.
Pretty sure the only things that damage blind are, what's it called?
Both canes.
Sword, hammer, both canes. And that's it. I know bees don't work. Tried bees once.
Oh man, that would be like the most useful thing for a bee ever. If it just took out blind.
So Christos elected to check the first 4 chests of Thieves Town and leave. That's not entirely a bad idea. Mainly because only one of these chests...
Oh man, over on the left, you're going to see a rare treat.
We have an archery game happening here.
Yeah, so Christos does not have enough money to do the dig game, so he's opting to do the mini game to farm up enough rupees. And there it is, he's got his allotted requirement. Wait,
not quite, he's used 20 more.
Okay.
He actually missed the middle arrow, which is the worst one to miss.
Now this is something I never thought I'd see.
Well, I think he's been practicing because of the 2v2 tournament. Where there were some bingo squares where one of the bingo squares is perfect archery game.
There it is, 100 rupees, he's got it.
Nailed
he throws the last one into into the game master.
I love Samaria blind. It is the best.
And look at that. One more hit. There it is.
Some really solid strats there. Turns out just a red pendant today.
So good news for Christos, provided that pedestal is not required. I'm sure he's really hoping.
A map there in the digging game. I didn't quite see which one it was.
Neither did I. Hopefully we'll get a map check soon, see what all these this new information provides us. Christos just going to be continuing on the South Dark World route. Quite a few items over here, particularly Hype Cave. But after Hype Cave, if that does not pay off, which I feel it has to, unless it's like something awful like the mushroom, where do you go next? It looks like first, Christos will be stepping into the bomb vendor. We'll get that information for crystals 5 and 6, and they are Desert Palace and Pod. Jet following close behind. Still pretty stingy on the heart containers this seed. There it is. Skull Woods is a crystal. Here we go. Hype Cave for Christos. Bombs. Still 4 more opportunities. There's a sword! And a single rupee and a piece of heart. Well, there you have it. Mothula can now be beaten, and it is a crystal. We'll see if Christos heads straight back to Dark World over there.
All right, so we got the Hype Cave check on the right side again. Getting that sword. Always nice to have a sword. Makes things a little easier on you. But that sword, of course, as you were saying, gives Christos access to Skull Woods, and he can clear it all in one go. Seems pretty good.
Alright, so Jet going to be performing what Christos had done very early on the escape sequence. And Christos heading back into Dark World here. I wonder, are we going to see Skull Woods? And there it is. Alright.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to see him pick up that bottle, or both of those bottles, actually. The Cane of Samaria. And probably head to the back and finish off Mothula. Though
get that crystal.
We are still looking at a fairly low heart fighter sword Mothula fight with green mail. I don't envy anyone in this position.
Well, Christos does have a B. But I don't
go.
think he's going to need it.
So, it is true that bees can damage Mothula, that you also have no control over which way they hit him. And
It's
so
just release and pray.
Yeah.
That Mothula goes down. Cane of Samaria out for Christos. So this is what Jet opted not to do at the time. And that's the annoying chest in the second half. Of course, having a sword makes getting through those berries significantly easier.
Right. And of course, the Cane of Samaria makes the room very fast.
Yeah, look at that. What a cheater.
I mean, at least he's not hovering. I mean, what?
Just 50 rupees. Okay, so Jet not missing out on anything too big there.
Yeah, it was a reasonable gamble to make. There's not a whole lot of room for gambling in Keysanity.
Yeah, there are so many required items, so best to be as thorough as you can wherever you go. You don't really see people gamble and skip the left side of Swamp unless like they're one item away from go mode. Just, you gotta assume something's back there. Yep, so for now, Christos is going to be our trailblazer. 2 more items left in Skull Woods that we have access to. You see the first one in the front, probably hoping maybe to get a sword upgrade, half magic, something to make Mothula a little bit easier. And there's the mirror. How convenient. Doesn't even have to death warp.
Nice.
So that is huge for Christos. And Jet going to take the damage or the death warp here. We're going to see possibly a blind sewers check. This is something we didn't see Christos do. Not in the logic until we find the lamp, but doesn't stop it from being a potentially valuable location. All right, and here we go. Christos entering the Mothula fight. We'll have, looks like, one fire rod shot, a bee, and a fighter sword. Let's see how he handles it. Gonna do some fighter sword spins. He's gonna be slashing for quite a while, but thankfully Mothula, at least in the beginning there, was being a little bit friendly with the positions, not hugging the spikes too much.
Slightly cooperative here. Just very nice dodging everything. I'm having Toho flashbacks over here.
Yep, there was the one fire rod shot. Down to 4 hearts.
Yeah, it takes a
Yes,
grand total.
all right, we're seeing it.
Bee
Christos
strats, ladies and
unleashes the
gentlemen. And the bee kill. Well
It's a small
done.
bee. The turtle rock. That's key number 3. Look how excited that bee is. It's like such a good boy.
Did Christos not check the bomb hut? No, he checked it. That'll be his 3rd key.
Yep. Oh man, that was a pretty exciting Mothula kill.
Yeah, moth fights on low equipment are always very fun to see, and Christos made it look easy. Like, Christos had 0 problems with that. Also bees.
So Jet did remember to go back to the bottle vendor, finally picked up the 2nd T-Rock key for him. And now Jet, very close behind, will not be trolled by that Mire any longer. And Christos going to sequence break up to the top of Death Mountain.
Yeah, so sequence breaks are basically one of the few ways to get an edge here in Keysanity, because so much of it requires you to check basically everything.
Yeah, this could have been done pretty much right from the start with how early we had the Power Glove. But Christos opting to push it off until he had either like the Mire or the Hookshot. Because if you go all the way up here, okay, just wanted to check that was the 4th T-Rock small key, another pod key. So pod looking pretty attractive.
I think that's the 4th pod key, to be honest.
Yeah.
4 pod keys with the bow. If you can find the hammer, that makes pod completable. And by completable, I mean you can get every single thing in there. Assuming you know how to do the hammer jump, and clearly these guys know how to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I see digging implements. Inside Spectacle Rock.
So we've got all our fetch quest items. Don't need that cape because we already found out that it's just a blue rupee sitting up there. But we have all the items and none of them have been checked. No idea what the powder is. We can check that now with the Mire. No idea what the mushroom is because who wants to go all the way up to the witch's house when you don't have the flute? And now we have the shovel. And over on your right side of the screen, jet082 will be doing his attempt at the Mothula fight.
Same equipment loadout, possibly a little more magic.
Yeah, Jet will have an extra fire rod shot here.
Yeah, so
There
a
it is,
fire rod
full
shot
hits.
that lands.
And he's
worth 2
unleashing the
hits.
bee as well.
More bee strats, ladies and gentlemen. So much bees. Alright, I think that got a good 3 or 4 or 5 hits on.
But Jet has to be careful. He's down to 2 hearts and oh man.
You need 16 hits.
There it is. Oh,
Equivalent
finishing with
to
1
5.
heart remaining. And there's
Except
Master
that-
Sword for Christos.
Ooh.
In the front half of Tower of Hera. That puts the first chest of Aga in the logic.
That is true. You can step right inside and check that out. That's one of the reasons that while I'm playing Keysanity, I like to kind of save escape for later, so I can just kind of check that at the end.
Yeah. So really not too much left for what could be in the logic right now for like the next progression. We have the 2 mirror spots, the K45 as well as the cemetery ledge. I think we have Ice Palace access, though Ice Palace with this set of equipment and no hammer really sucks because you can't full clear it. You need the hammer to complete that dungeon.
We have access
we can't
to
get over to
4
Pod.
things.
Yeah, we can get over to Pod. Just the long way around the north that nobody would ever want to do.
Or you can swim through Lake Hylia, right?
Let's see.
There's
No,
a
because-
ledge
well,
on there's a ledge
yeah,
on
we
the right hand
can,
side.
but in order to get there, you have to go through the full South Dark World route. So I think it's faster
Yeah.
to head the north side.
I mean, yeah, it depends on if you were going through, like if you were doing Hype Cave at the same time, then yeah. But since you've already done that,
Oh, and
Looks like-
speaking of heading over to
yeah.
Death Mountain, or not Death Mountain, sorry, potentially Pod, Jet's going to be checking the cemetery ledge first. But
Right.
being over here and with the mirror, you can couple in Catfish with the mushroom turn in, and then head over to Pod, check the pyramid. So a lot of value to be found over here.
Yeah, I think Pod or Pod Catfish are probably in the cards.
Yeah. So Tower of Hera did end up being a pendant. So we have full knowledge of what our crystals and what our pendants are.
Uh-huh. Interestingly enough, we've gotten 2 pendants.
Yep.
Though different pendants for each player. Of course, we know the third one's in Turtle Rock, but we've got so many T-Rock keys, how can that not be important?
I don't care what the status of Turtle Rock is as a crystal or a pendant. You're going to be heading in there at least once.
Yeah, it's unlikely.
Here's a small key. The Tower of Hera.
Oh! He just left there.
Well, thankfully for him, no lamp, no flute means nothing can be there, at least that we know of right now. So
Right.
he needs to hope that he doesn't find the lamp as the next progression item, basically.
So Jet also found that key while heading toward Catfish. That was an excellent route there. Taking
Yeah,
care
I
of the
really like
mushroom
this route.
while you're doing this.
Then I would really be surprised if we see a Jet dip out of here and not go to Pod at this point. You have the bow. You've got enough small keys to clear quite a bit.
Yeah, to be sure, I expect the rarely seen walk backwards from Catfish
Yeah.
here.
What does Catfish have in store for us today? It is a piece of heart.
Which he's
Yeah.
actually going to pick up, because that's his 4th. Giving him
Yeah.
7 hearts.
Yeah, 6 hearts, green mail. Definitely a good idea to pick it up. And Christos, are we going to see blacksmiths from Christos? Got the
Ooh.
mirror out. Yes, we are.
Yep. Good old Jeremiah heading on up to the blacksmith shop.
Yeah, so we'll likely see Christos turn in the blacksmith. Maybe couple in the purple chest with the K45 check. And yeah, as you were saying, Jet backtracking from Catfish. We'll be checking the pyramid before heading into Pod.
There is a chance we might see a magic bat check.
Yep.
So it looks like we've got quiversmiths today.
A bloomerang on the pyramid.
All right, so the magic bat is being checked.
Okay, so Christos opting to put off the K45 mirror check. I'm guessing we'll see us save and quit out of here and then head in and turn in purple chest. Maybe do Agian while you're over there, maybe. Blue ruby.
Blue ruby. Not much.
Yeah, there's the save and quit. Just gonna hope nothing of value is over in K45. Yeah, but Jet, almost a pod.
Yep.
Quite a few
pod.
items in here.
Do you think Christos might go dig something up after this?
He definitely can. I mean, he's over here.
It seems relatively convenient.
He seems to be in the mode of turning in all these fetch quest items, but looks like we're going to head over to Agena. We'll get the information of what is on the desert ledge. Probably.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah, he's heading over there. Red rupee and a big key on the right to Skullwoods.
All right. So we're gonna head to the right-hand side and shoot some bow-locked stuff.
Yeah, Jet only sitting at 2 pod keys. So that's an advantage for Christos. He has 3 himself. Jet can avoid opening up the front door by making several trips through the right side that he's doing right now.
Well, he could.
Oh wait, no, he doesn't
if
have
he
the
had
hammer.
the
That's
hammer.
right. Yeah. No
Yeah, the
hammer
hammer
makes
is
that
kind
pretty
of-
difficult.
Kind of important today.
But, you know, the hammer will be up here, guaranteed and 100%.
I mean,
So,
yeah, you're right.
This is a very smart route by Jet. Just, he knows the hammer is right here. Well, there's the lamp.
Close enough.
Tower of Hera, anybody?
Yeah, that puts Hera back in the logic.
Yep, so Jet going to continue on, burn a key through the front door. This will give him enough to check the maze, if he wants to, as well as the, what is it? I'm drawing a blank for words, man. The blue rupee dark room in the back, and the turtle room. Jet has his bombs out. $50 rupees.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm expecting a hammer yump. Not like immediately, because you'll probably check the backside first.
Yeah, well, he picked up that default pod key, so now we'll be able to check the harmless hellway and just root around to the maze room and then mirror out from there. Or, unless he finds something incredibly valuable to allow him to finish, just save and quit.
Yeah. So, also in the back of pod, if you come in from the back doing the hammer jump, it's a lot easier.
Yep.
We did find the castle tower small key there in the basement. That will give us access to the second item.
Oh, and look at that. The
Oh
big
boy!
tower. Good thing he got that key.
Jet's like, I'm not gonna mess around with that easy mode stuff. I'm coming in from the front.
Gonna do some pause buffering strats. Gets the bomb.
Just nails
Wow.
it on the first try.
That was pretty good.
Finds the map of this dungeon in the dungeon. In the big chest. But yeah,
Red
the big
rupee
key
in
of
the
Ganon's
maze.
tower being in that particular location. A little trolly, actually. Because if you're really logic-oriented, you know that location
Oh.
needs like 5 small keys.
There's our third sword. So
All
just
right.
the Master Sword for Jet. But Christos will be picking that up shortly. Now,
And I actually
Christos
think
does,
Jet will be picking up the other sword pretty soon, too.
yeah,
Seems like a trip to Hera is on the table.
yeah, you got the lamp, you have the mirror, you have the big key and the small key to Tower of Hera. Definitely a valuable option. Christos is going to be heading into pod with an extra key. So depending on how he uses them, and I imagine he'll use them the same way Jet is going to be using them, we will see potentially the big key chest that Jet had to skip due to a lack of small keys.
Looks like we're being told that you remember what was on the Lake Hylia Island?
Yeah, it was a big key.
Right. So Christos swam through Lake Hylia with the mirror in the Dark World.
Oh no, did he forget about it? That would be a perfect opportunity to grab it.
Mhm.
Oh man. Well, looking at our current items, what could it be? It'd be the Desert Palace Big Key, the Eastern Palace Big Key. And if it actually is something, and Christos did forget about it, he needs to hope it's either the Swamp Palace Big Key or the Ice Palace Big Key, and nothing of value being in those chests.
Very true.
Jet will be heading down. Not gonna grab the... Wait, okay. Wait, he's thinking about it? Nope. I'm thinking we're gonna see him head into Tower of Hera, clear that out, and then if he remembers, head out, grab it afterwards. That way he can save and quit once he grabs the shovel, doesn't have to backtrack up.
Seems reasonable. Now, I imagine he's gonna have to check both the upstairs and the downstairs because he does have that small key to Hera, I believe.
Yep. See, is he gonna head? Yep, he's gonna head. Well, actually, no. There's a chest over here. We'll see if he just does the basement right away.
I kind of feel like I might
Yep.
do it because otherwise I'd forget.
Yeah, there's still so many items that we need. At the very least, we need the flute, hammer, and hookshot as our progression items. We still need the big key to desert, big key to Eastern Palace. And let's see, do we need any more small keys? I don't think we do. I think we're good on small keys.
So Jet attempted to set up the coffee break strats here, but unfortunately got a little bit trolled by the placement.
I guess Jet would need a 5th pod small key if he wants to open up that last chest, but doesn't need it to complete the dungeon because he did find it.
Was that the hammer in that chest that you are talking about?
It was indeed.
That
hammer.
is the worst thing for Jet right now.
Oh man. Yeah, because
Like, how?
Jet is not going to be heading back to pod anytime soon for a couple reasons. One, he doesn't have the hammer, so getting over to pod is a complete pain. He has to go either all the way around the north side or the south side to get back there. And two, he only has one additional small key, so he'd be making that whole trip for a single item location.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that is really, really bad news for Jet, unfortunately.
Yeah, so unfortunately we had Jet burning a small key to get the Ganon's Tower big key. Never mind.
Oh,
That's
Christos.
really good.
Oh man, but this is huge. Christos opting to take the small key and finish the dungeon, and Christos will be skipping the Ganon's Tower big key in the Harmless Hellway.
Uh-oh.
So
we're
just
gonna have
like
we're gonna have ourselves a race to return to pod.
Well, if Christos does not use that key and finish the dungeon, I'd say Christos would be in a worse position after this because he's going to have even less motivation to head over to pod and pick up that small key. There's still a lot of game left, a lot of locations, and you don't go all the way to the back of pod until it's like the last thing. And yeah, he's taking the death warp. Oh no.
Why? He has a
He's-
mirror.
Yeah, you're right. He does have the mirror.
Maybe he's just getting a health refill. Yeah, he's going back in. He may be going to face off
He's
against
gonna go to the.
Helmasaur.
He's gonna do Helmasaur. I hope for his sake. Wait. Okay. Oh. Bullet dodged for Christos. He's gonna do the bomb jump to the back. He will be checking the harmless hellway. Oh man.
It's a little strange that it wasn't done beforehand, but I mean, perhaps he wanted to use the information he got from the back to figure that out.
I was really worried for a second there because that would be a huge advantage for Jet because Jet's going to be blocked by the hammer way earlier than Christos would be blocked by the GT Big Key.
That is true. It's an interesting bomb jump.
Yeah, he pulled that
Not
off.
convinced it saves time, but
I haven't clocked it, but I did see Christos go for it in the last race versus Jet. I like it. Yeah, so Jet is going to be checking a couple of very out-of-the-way locations for now. The two locations in Aga Tower, we have not seen either of these, so pay attention to Jet here. We're going to get some new information.
I figured out what he did. Someone in chat pointed out. So what he did was he died there, so it would create a save point. And if he was going to check that harmless hellway, if it turned out to be nothing, he was just going to reset, so that he could reuse that key.
Yes, good point. Yeah, I've never thought of doing that in pod specifically. I know it's a very popular play for Turtle Rock because of how big of a potential disaster that lava room chest can be.
Speaking of Turtle Rock, we may be seeing that soon.
Okay. Well, we're going to get the right side of Death Mountain first. There's a lot of stuff over here to check. This is all new information. Now, Jet...
Right, I was like, have we really not been over here? No, we don't have that.
No, yeah, we just got the hammer.
I mean,
and
goodness.
no hookshot. So we do have a question of why Christos did not finish pod. Well, he needs at least one more small key in order to reach Helmasaur, the boss of the dungeon. So he opted to use the key to get something way more valuable, the Ganon's Tower Big Key. Of course, pod being a crystal, and crystal 5 and 6 no less, he will have to make his way there eventually, but still getting that knowledge of the GT Big Key avoided a big disaster for him.
Alright, so we've got Christos heading to the Dark World. I think he's going to mirror it here in front. Yeah, he's going to set up that portal.
Yep. So Jet, if he goes this direction...
I did not even see what was in there, but it can't have been that
It was
important.
useless. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Jet gonna check the dig spot. This will be our first knowledge of it. And as far as Jet's options go, he doesn't have too much left because he's still lacking that hammer. We've got the first chest in Swamp Palace, which is really far out of the way. And we've got the first half of Ice Palace.
Yeah. I was going to say, is there any chance that we see a first chest of Swamp Jack?
Now, lacking the hammer at almost an hour in, well, Jet's gonna do the blacksmiths instead.
Alright.
I completely missed what was in the Paradox Cave on Christos' side.
Yeah. Also, so Jet, I don't believe he did the digging game a while back because I saw him go through here and not have the rupees for it. And unlike Christos,
Yeah.
he decided not to do archery strats. So
I love that, man. That was a treat to see. mini games actually being useful. And it was a map to GT, so that was the map that we forgot about.
Oh, so like complete garbage. Got it.
Super Bunny K for Christos. That's the fourth and final Ganon's Tower small key.
All right,
But-
so we're going to see a very quick trip through Ganon's Tower, unless, of course, we need something from there, which would be very rare.
I don't think anything can be locked in the basement that we need. The worst would be Hookshot, but Hookshot is off the table because Swamp Palace is a crystal.
Yeah.
Now Christos is heading back. I'm guessing gonna check the basement of Tower of Hera while he's up here. And potentially Spike Cave. Yep, there's the mirror. So we'll be seeing the basement of Tower of Hera from him.
So it looks like, you know how we were going to see a Turtle Rock play?
Yeah, it's Ether. Can't do
Not
it.
happening.
That's potential good news. Every item they find is one less thing that could be in Turtle Rock, avoiding a dip into the green pendant.
That's just a pretty good philosophy for life. Everything you find could be, is one less thing that's in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Ice Rod can be in Ganon's Tower. Yeah, you could have Ice Rod in Ganon's Tower and Silver's on Trinex. That's a thing.
Yeah,
That
and
being
if that is a
said,
thing, we're not going to see him.
We will be seeing Silverless Ganon.
Yeah, Jet was practicing up his Silverless Ganon strats before the race. So he's pretty comfortable with it. And Christos, no doubt, is going to be comfortable with Silverless Ganon as well. Anybody in the semifinals is. I think it's safe to say pretty good at this game. Here we go, Christos heading back to Dark World. And we'll be seeing a map check first.
Is it Spike Cave time? I think
It's Spike Cave.
time.
He's looking for a fairy. Doesn't get it. So 6 hearts, no half magic. This is going to be close.
With the Cane of Brian, you can make it all the way down here on one thing of magic with, I think, 3 hearts. So,
Yep, he's good. Just barely. Blue mail.
all right.
I'll take it.
I mean, you don't like the fact that you went out of your way for something that's not progression, but it's a decent consolation prize. Let's put it that way.
It's way better than finding like the single arrow or a big 20 or a bomb upgrade or any number of other useless items. That will come in handy. And Christos.
Oh,
I think he
I think he's-
remembered what was
yep.
on the island, right?
he's going
Yeah.
to get a big key off of the island.
I'm gonna die if it's like the big key to Ice Palace. Okay, never mind. He's gonna do the shovel spot first. But he had the hammer out, so he was thinking about going to Dark World. I think he just remembered that he has the shovel. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll go do this first. And Jet's gonna give us the knowledge of what's in that big chest in Skull Woods.
Very nice.
Yeah, still locking that hammer. He's gonna have to check all the out-of-the-way locations, unfortunately. Nice bomb jump, and it is a map
Womp womp.
to Ice Palace.
So that could sort of indicate that you need to head toward Ice Palace.
Yep.
Now, Jet hasn't been anywhere near the lake since he got the hammer.
Now, Jet walking through Dark World. Is he going to check the powder here? As the only thing I can think of that he'd be heading over here for. No. So maybe he already did that. I don't know. Swamp Palace first chest? Potentially? So I think he's also lacking that item on Lake Hylia. And here it is on the left. Christos is the big key to Desert Palace.
Oh boy.
Required big key, but still no access to Desert itself. Once we do have access, we'll be able to full clear it with the exception of what is lying on the torch. Now Jet, hang on. Jet's still in Dark World. Okay, he's going to be checking the mirror spot here. And I'd imagine he's going to jump into the water and head into Ice Palace. But I hope he just makes, at least for him, okay, never mind. He's not going to go to pod. This is the correct play with the knowledge that Jet currently has, as unfortunate as it is. So he will be double dipping Ice Palace, unfortunately, because he will not be finding the hammer in here. But we also need to hope that there's no other progression in here that's locked before the hammer area, because we need Jet to head over to pod as soon as possible to grab that hammer.
Right, you're gonna hope that there's nothing important in the in this first chest in the freezer room, which, by the way, you should check in case you ever forget it. And the iced tea room. I don't believe we have the Ice Palace big key, so the big chest is not a concern at the moment.
Yep, that's correct. No Ice Palace big key. And another diversion for Jet is the logic expects you to have 5 pod small keys to open up that chest. That one has the GT big key, and the other one having the hammer. Yeah. Maybe it'll be in here. Just give him more motivation to head back to pod to check that item.
Yeah, about the only progression you'd want to see here if you were Jet is another pod key.
Yeah, but if nothing is in here, I'm trying to think of what else Jet has remaining. I know he has the first chest in Swamp Palace, but is there anything else? He just checked Agina, so nothing over there.
I'm not sure.
Doesn't have access to Turtle Rock, lacking that Ether Medallion.
Yeah, so it does seem like that may be it.
Yeah, it'd be first chest of Swamp and pod, which would mean that either Ice Palace or that first chest in Swamp has a pod small key for us.
Jet is making the correct move here and not bomb jumping, because without the...
Wait, there it is. There's that pod small key we're
nice.
talking about.
Pod small key in the freezer room. Excellent.
Yeah, so Jet is almost done with his Ice Palace trip. We'll have to mirror out. Maybe save and quit out of here. Yeah. And he's got to make the choice. My guess, you go to Swamp Palace first, since it's on the way to pod, and then head into pod. That is, if there's nothing else that we've forgotten about.
Alright, so there's the bomb upgrade. There's just a compass in the final chest that Jet can reach, so Jet will be spared a horrible fate here in Ice Palace. Christos will be picking up that last pod key that he needs to complete the dungeon with this nice little bomb jump.
And speaking of bomb jumps, Jet is going to be heading up the bomb jump in the hookshot room. Normally the logic expects you to have hookshot to get through here, but the cleverly placed bomb, you can do that.
Yeah, I've actually never seen it done that particular way. There's so many different ways to do that one.
There it is, the compass, and Jet has to get out of there, because lacking the hammer, there's nothing else he can do in here. Let's see what he does. Heading. Oh, I love this strat that I always forget about doing. If you have the mirror, you can still start from Sank and then mirror to the front. It still counts as a dungeon.
Alright, so he's heading to the Dark World the only way he can, I assume.
Yep.
And the question is, will he head to Pod, or will he head to the first chest of Swamp? You know, to be honest, I think he'll probably check the first chest of Swamp, because it's kind of on the way. He can also... But other than that, it'll be a quick check. Unless, of course, the first chest of Swamp has the Swamp Palace small key.
Oh, no. Well, on your
But then he
left,
can
there's a
check
small
two
key for
chests.
Christos. That is a Misery Mire small key. A useless small key, but actually, no, it's not completely useless. It does allow some more optimal routing through Mire once we have access to it, but not required to get to any chest in there.
So actual best case scenario for Jet is the Swamp Palace small key is in there, because he can only check one more chest anyway, and then he'll be off to Pod and he'll know where the Swamp Palace small key is.
All right, now look at this, Christos.
I believe the
Gonna
basement
head
of
on.
Hera was the map to Swamp Palace, not the small key.
Yes, I guess that is one of the few remaining items we need. So, for us to enter no mode, we need the flute. We need the hookshot. We need the Swamp Palace small key and the Eastern Palace big key. And depending on where those are, may end up needing the boots, the Ether Medallion, the Ice Rod. It's all going to be in Turtle Rock, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. So we might need the Ether Medallion if we need to get into Turtle Rock. Christos is going back to Pod to finish that off.
Yeah, so even though like Christos finished off Ice Palace, there wasn't anything in there. So the progression could still be in this first chest in Swamp Palace or off of Helmasaur King.
Is
Nope.
not. At least not in the first chest in Swamp.
Okay, all right.
So now I think Jet's basically out of locations and he's going to have to go back to Pod.
Yep.
So a blessing in disguise that he found nothing in Ice Palace.
Yep, gonna swim over to Pod. So yeah, Jet is gonna get out of this rut. And really not gonna be... Well, he's behind, no doubt about it, but not as bad as it could have been. Because Christos has not found the next progression item. Still, that hammer has been it. We haven't found anything else since that hammer. So I'm thinking Helmasaur King has to have the item. There's Helmasaur King. Actually, no, there's a couple locations that I'm forgetting
Did we
about.
check
We got
Peg
Helmasaur
Cave?
King. Did we check Peg? Yeah, I don't think we have.
Yeah, I think Peg Cave has something.
Yeah, it could be Peg Cave. It could be Helmasaur King. And what else? Is there anything else I'm remembering? Or I'm forgetting?
I mean,
Well, either way,
top of my
both
head.
runners have enough small keys to finish Pod. So Jet will not have to come back here again. We'll grab that hammer and head on to complete the dungeon.
I'm feeling book on Helmasaur. What about you?
That's cruel. Really cruel. And then a trip all the way up to Death Mountain for the
Oh,
default
somebody just
medallion.
outdid it. Somebody just outdid me. Thieves Town small key on Helmasaur.
So Thieves Town small key on Helmasaur, leading to the book, which leads to the Ether Medallion from the Ether Tablet, which leads to a default Ice Rod and small key inside Turtle Rock, to the Hookshot being in the lava room chest in Turtle Rock.
And so Jet is now like, are you kidding me right now with this hammer?
All right, but here we go. Pay attention on your left. ChristosOwen will get some new information for us. What does Helmasaur King have? It's
A
the book! Well, at this point, Desert Palace is unlocked. There's quite a few things in there. Like that's the
clearly
play.
the first place you go is go to Desert Palace.
So Christos walking out from pod. I wonder if he's going to be checking the Bombos tablet on his way to Desert. But I think just saving and quitting and going to the Dark World would be a little bit faster. But maybe he knows something I don't.
I actually think I saw something in chat, and I think this is actually correct. Someone said because of that, Hammer Pegs has to have a pod small key.
If book is the progression, yes. Although book does get us new locations, if for example the Hammer Pegs is the Hookshot,
right?
Well,
the Hammer Pegs could be something else.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be the Ether Medallion, and then that puts Turtle Rock in for the 6 pod key. It could be the Flute, which puts the 6 pod key over in the Mire area. So yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff depending on where book lies in the sequence of events. Oh, okay. So Christos had not checked. Yeah, he'd not checked Aga Tower or the pyramid. So
one of my favorite moves in Keysanity is mirroring from the top of the pyramid to check Aga Tower. It feels good. It feels real good.
Yeah. So really, after Jet finishes off Helm's Sword King here, he's going to have no issue whatsoever. I mean, the Tempered Sword, more than enough hearts. Really, the only thing that's separating our runners is a few, out-of-the-way locations that Jet has checked and Christos has not. For example, the Skullwood's big chest and the Ice Palace Crystal. No, I thought that Jet has done Catfish.
Jet did Catfish, Christos did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that and finishing the second half of Ice Palace. So Christos still definitely has the advantage. But man,
Jet goes directly to Desert and all the progression is there. I imagine Ice Palace will be a go mode dungeon for him.
Yeah. But man, so far the progression has been pretty spread out. Several locations, both her runners have been checking literally the last remaining spots to get whatever it is they needed. And right now we think that item was the book. Christos is going to act on it right away. Look at this, Jet
is taking the road less traveled here and going to check the Ether tablet, I think.
Well, this is good because Jet has yet to check East Death Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of value up here.
And he also doesn't know that Turtle Rock isn't open.
Right. But if we get the default Ether Medallion...
That would be hilarious and awesome.
And potentially what Jet needs to get back into this race. Because Ether Medallion, no doubt, or the Ether Tablet, I'm sorry, is something Christos is going to put off as long as he can, because heading all the way up to Death Mountain for a single item is not ideal. You want to have the Hookshot. You want to have Ether Medallion already so you can couple it with more stuff on that trip. But here, moment of truth for Jet. The Ether Medallion has a full heart container, not the answer we were looking for. So Jet's going to continue on, finish cleaning up the right half of Death Mountain, the east side. And Christos, pretty likely he's going to find something in here.
Got 300 rupees over here on the right side. Going back to the big key chest.
Small key.
Okay.
To castle.
So that unlocks not much. I don't remember what was in the basement chests.
I don't think anything was in there. But even then, you don't need a small key to get to it.
Right. It's just the logic wants you to have it. So just thinking about what sort of indications the presence of that key might be giving you as far as where you need to go. Not that it gives you any new places that you can go.
Okay, 2 more items remaining in Desert Palace. We got the big chest and the boss.
Misery Mire Big Key was down there.
But importantly, this is the other 5/6 crystal. So once this dungeon is completed, we have access to the Pyramid Fairy and 2 more item locations.
So far, Desert Palace turning out to be just a load of garbage.
It's going to be Pyramid Fairy, for sure. Ether Medallion off of the Pyramid Fairy.
Wow. Yeah, that is 100% on the table.
Or this could have all been a red herring, and the actual progression is
Hammer pegs.
is hammer pegs, yeah. And the book was actually not required because it's like whatever's on the hammer pegs leads to the flute. It's like, oh, no more book for you.
So yeah, we need Hookshot, we need Flute, we need Eastern Palace Big Key, and Swamp Palace Small Key.
And that is it. Those 4 items. And those could be locked behind other items, but we're not going to know that until we find them.
I believe Desert Ledge was just Big 20, but nothing particularly important.
Yeah, it wasn't useful. That was something Christos had checked quite a while ago. But now we're going to see some nice fire rod strats, potentially. Nope, spin strats from Christos. For the first one, 2 heads down, and there we go. Goodbye, Landmos, and just a big 20. And Pyramid Fairy is unlocked.
Yep. So far, the book on Helmasaur was a red herring, unless the Pyramid Fairy has something important.
And if the Pyramid Fairy has nothing, well, we're making a trip over to the hammer pegs. And we're gonna get that Pyramid Fairy check right now. Jet pausing for a moment after seeing the T-Rock medallion. He's like, man, really? Because for Jet, he just has Desert Palace, Spike Cave, and the last half of Ice Palace.
Yep. So I think, you know how we mentioned the 4 items we need? I'm reasonably certain any one of those could be on the pedestal.
You are correct.
Like, none of them are required for any of the pendant dungeons.
Yeah, 2 pendants we already have. Jet has 2 of them. And the other one, T-Rock, all we need is Ether Medallion.
We know it's not Vanilla Swamp Palace Small Key. We've seen that. We've seen the first chest. But Christos can actually check... well, no. What am I talking about? The hammer does not make it easier to get through that small key door.
Yeah, a little bit of a roadblock. There may be ways to bypass it. In fact, there are ways to bypass it, but not under the rules we are currently
I
playing.
think
But
those
pay attention on your
qualify as
left.
major glisses.
ChristosOwen, red mail, and a small key
To
Misery
Mire.
Mire. It's the hammer pegs. I can't believe it.
Wow. So I called book on Helmasaur, and it turned out to not be important. That's how ridiculous that is.
Well, let's see what the hammer pegs have to offer. At least, I think that's the last thing on the table right now. I'm drawing a blank as far as any other locations that can be checked. Maybe we'll see the boots? Boots would be nice. And unlock 2 locations, that being the Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb.
I mean, if they find the flute at any point, they wouldn't have needed the book.
Yeah. Yeah, flute could be here. Boots
And they're
could be
gonna
here.
find the flute, so
Ether can be here. Hookshot can be here. The Eastern Palace big key can be here. The Swamp Palace small key can be here. Okay, here we go. I'm hoping for boots, but worst case, it's the Swamp Palace small key, and then like you find Ether Medallion in Swamp Palace, and then Hookshot and T-Rock.
And reminder, ChristosOwen left Thieves Town after checking the first 4, so he was thinking about going back in there.
Yeah, but what is it? What's it gonna be?
It's Ether! The Turtle Rock play is real.
Oh my god. The Ether Medallion. Wow. Unbelievable. You know what I was saying earlier on, that no matter what the status of T-Rock is, you're going to be going in there. Well, here we go. Turtle Rock is required. We're going to be venturing in there right now.
At least Christos can get this Ether tablet out of the way while he's on the way up there. His rupee count not boding well at the moment.
I see.
That one out
I
there.
see. So we're going to see potentially something valuable in the lava room chest. I wonder if, after being burned so hard by it the other day, if Christos is going to do the save and quit strat to open up that chest, and if it's nothing, take the small key and continue on, or if he's just going to open up anyway, or get the 4th T-Rock small key and not have to worry about it.
Intentional death to chain jump sounds like a plan.
Both these seeds that these runners have gone through for this best of 3 have been crazy so far. Just like the roundabout loop that they've been sent on, the false flag of the book being the answer and not having anything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous.
So now we know progression of some sort is going to be inside Turtle Rock. What is it going to be?
Thanks
find
to
the flute?
Xad for that subscription there.
What can we find in here? We can find the flute, the boots, the hookshot, another Turtle Rock small key coupled with the ice rod, in which Trine Hex could have something, the Eastern Palace big key, the Swamp Palace small key. A lot of stuff can be found. Or maybe we're going to find it all. Everything is going to be here.
Who says you can't have it all?
Yeah, Jet doing the correct play, heading into Pyramid Ferry. Gonna get his red mail, which is definitely not what he's hoping to find. And then I think for Jet, he has the option of Ice Palace or Hammer Pegs.
Yeah, I think he will probably be doing the ice play. Well, okay, he's doing the Pyramid Fairy, right? I know
Yep.
words. I can watch.
Yeah, Ice Palace makes the most sense. Having the hammer, you can full clear it. It's quite a bit of items. Hammer Pegs, at this moment, is pretty far out of the way. There's the flute in Turtle Rock and the big key to Eastern Palace.
Oh my goodness.
There's 2 of the items
2 out of
we needed.
4 right here in Turtle Rock.
Now we just need that Swamp Palace small key and the hookshot.
Yep. Now, of course, those could be in Misery Mire.
Yep.
Or
That
say,
just unlocked
on Armos or
a ton of locations.
in the Eastern Big Chest. So, all sorts of things available now.
Yeah, and you're already up here. You definitely continue on. You know how valuable Turtle Rock is. That red mail coming in handy, as these chain charms deal a ridiculous amount of damage. And
Oh! He picked up a piece of heart and gave him a refill, but he was trying to do the intentional death so he could get the lava chest.
But why would
But
you
it
do an
doesn't take
intentional
that
death there?
Because the next thing you're gonna open is the lava chest, and those are the things that will kill you the easiest. So you go there, you kill yourself, and then you come back in, get the chest. If it's nothing, you do a hard reset.
Is this faster than doing the death warp or the death at the checkpoint by the big chest area?
Well, it doesn't matter, because if you get it wrong, like if it's nothing, you are just going to do a hard reset, which is not going to put you in Turtle Rock.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but Christos has learned. Now, is this lava chest gonna have something this time? Let's find out. Red Mire. And here comes the hard reset. There it is. So now Christos probably put that flute to use, the Eastern Palace big key to use. If he doesn't find the Swamp Palace small key or the Hookshot in there, well, actually no, he can't even do Mire because we don't have access to enter Mire. We need either the Hookshot or the boots in order to actually go in there.
So, if everyone will indulge me for a moment, Christos is about to activate his flute, which means it's time for the National Swag Duck Anthem. As a person who sings many terrible things about a duck with wings, I am crazy, but at least I can say, unlike all this gameplay, it won't take me a day to find the key.
Well done, Dr. Bautastic. I really enjoyed that. Christos going to use that flute right away and check what he can in the Mire area. Also see what the Mire medallion is. Of course, it doesn't matter because we have all three. Is it going to be Ether as well? Default Ether medallion? But not going to check it until you go in. No point to waste the time to head over into the water.
We have all the medallions, right?
Right, exactly. Still looking for boots or hookshot for Mire access. There's a small key to Ice Palace and a single rupee. So, no answers.
One very important small key. And that ain't it.
Yeah, we're good on big keys. Completely good on big keys. Just that Swamp Palace small key eludes us. What if it's in like the Ice Palace big chest?
Would be interesting.
5 arrows, okay. So, with that flute, likely finish off Eastern Palace, and if nothing's there, well, Christos is going to be back up to T-Rock. 2 item locations remaining in Eastern Palace. That's the big chest and the Armos Knights item.
So Christos checked the Mire area, but did not bother going into Misery Mire at the moment. He's going to go ahead and finish Eastern Palace.
Yep, he can't. No hookshot, no boots, no Mire access. Go mode's going to be in T-Rock. Just everything's in there.
Yeah, that's right. You need. I keep forgetting. You need the hookshot or the boots for Mire. That's kind of ridiculous.
It's not something that comes up too often.
It's always fun to me when I see hookshot in Mire. So I'm just like, really?
The worst for me is a Hookshot in the first chest in Hookshot Cave. Alright, but pay attention to Christos here, getting some new information, just a compass to Dark Palace. One more item in Eastern Palace. If it's nothing, we're back up to T-Rock to finish it off. And now Jet, with the Sanctuary start, I'm thinking Hammercut Caves, got his Ice Palace Crystal. And if Jet opts to continue through T-Rock without having to do the double dip, that's a really big time save and puts him back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that will all depend on what Christos finds here off of the Armos Knights. "44 arrows." Gonna be quick work. Just spam them, 3 shots per. There it is.
Oh, he gets one back.
Well, we're going back to T-Rock, ladies and gentlemen.
Only cost him 17 arrows. Alright, so Jet is finally checking out the hammer pegs. This is going to give him exactly what he needs.
Okay, flew out. Will Christos finish off Thieves Town, get his pile of nothing, or head up to Death Mountain? And he's up to Death Mountain. The Turtle Rock return. And Jet, with the Ether Medallion, knows exactly what that means, and is probably not too happy right now.
So do you think Jet will skip the lava chest?
Well, he did last time.
Yeah, that.
But last time, T-Rock was crystal. When it's a pendant, things change. That being said, with how little is left, the 4th T-Rock key could very well be inside T-Rock. Where is Jet going right now? Oh, he's checking the Bombos tablet, of course.
Right. Bombos tablet, not going to be worth much.
Yeah, even worse, lacking the hookshot, you have to take the long way around to T-Rock by heading up the ladder by Hera, Mirroring and Spectacle Rock.
Ugh. Digging Game was a literal piece of garbage. It's something you should pick up and throw in the trash and maybe recycle, because it was the Ganon's Tower map.
I'm trying to think of like what the worst possible situation for remaining item locations can be. And at least for me,
it's got to be Swamp Palace Small Key on Pedestal, isn't it?
yeah, so Swamp Palace Small Key on Pedestal, but so you get the boots in T-Rock as like the next item. Yeah, boots on Laser Bridge. And then Mire has nothing, and the rest of T-Rock has nothing.
Oh, left side Swamp
and you get
has Hookshot.
No, you get the Ice Rod in Mire.
Oh.
And then
and Swamp Palace Big Key. I'm trying to. Okay.
So no, not even that. Trinex gives you nothing. You got the green pendant.
Oh, okay.
Then green pendant gives you the small key to Swamp.
Oh no. That was a bug in V27. Someone asking if the Swamp Palace Small Chest has a 10% chance of having the key, and I'm like, no, that was a bug in V27, which was fixed in V28. And this is V29, so.
Yep, one better. Alright, well, Christos has made it back to Turtle Rock. He's grabbing the small key from the Pokey. Already knows what's inside the chest. Just needs to not accidentally open up the door there, which can happen.
That's awful close. Like, you're gonna want to kind of aim a little high. Don't hit that door.
Yeah. Boots. Let's go Boots.
I can get behind Boots.
Like the last chest in the laser bridge, having the Boots. The Mimic Cave is also acceptable. It will be interesting to see what Jet opts to do with his 3 T-Rock small keys. Either skip the lava room entirely, set up and save and quit after checking the laser bridge. Who knows? Last seed, he did skip it entirely, but because T-Rock was a crystal, makes more sense to do it. But when it's a pendant, people are a little more likely to burn that key. There's a small shield, a little bit of defense.
Yep. We saw another one of those in the graveyard ledge. So there are 4 chests in the game that the logic actually references shields for, and those are the laser bridge chests. But
oh, sorry to interrupt. There's the one and only 10 bomb chest.
Yeah. But we have the Cane of Brian, so that's a moot point. But I'm all about the moot points.
Okay. We have 5 more locations in T-Rock. One of them has to have something. We have no idea what that's going to be. Me personally, I'm hoping for the Boots. Full heart container. It's on laser bridge, whatever it is.
Jet's like, that sure is some progression.
Yeah. Man. What a seed this has been.
Apparently that was the Sanctuary Heart.
Oh, I like this. Cane of Brian, or yeah, Cane of, yeah. Wait, no.
Hey, I'm not the only person who
Cane of
does that
Samaria.
strat.
That one. Yeah, there we go. Still hoping last chest here having the Boots. Let's go. Red Rupee, nothing so far. The
There
Boots!
they are!
Second to
Not
last!
the last chest, but close enough.
I cannot believe this.
And the Boots
Well-
are on the laser bridge, ladies and gentlemen.
We have Mire access, and access to the Bonk Rocks, and King's Tomb. Christos going to be checking for those 2. Hoping to enter go
right
mode
here.
here, just heading straight to Mire. Okay, Ice Rod. Let's go King's Tomb. Give me that Ice Rod. Okay, red 20. Big 20. Whatever.
I'm sure everyone would regret not killing Trinex if you possibly could kill Trinex at this point. Unfortunately, the Ice Rod has not been located.
So we're down to 2 items remaining. The Hookshot and the Swamp Palace Small Key. Just a bomb upgrade. Okay, so
Mire is the play.
we are heading to Mire.
Christos taking out his frustrations on a nearby tree.
And also, Jet did just completely skip the lava room chest. So he's getting all of his
Seems
progression in here in one go.
And he will be able to go into Mire when he comes here. So that will probably do some real good for catching him up.
Yeah. So Mire will have a progression item. What these runners don't want to see
Oh,
is the Ice Rod and nothing else.
so that's
You want to see, ideally, the small key to Swamp Palace.
so I saw a point in the chat. There is one more location that those boots unlocked.
Oh,
that's
you're
the,
you're right. You're right.
The first chest in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. You know, Christos did not go there. I mean, you're already up here on T-Rock. I wonder if Jet is going to make that decision.
The only problem is it's kind of a long way back. You'd have to walk out the front door, or like mirror and walk around and mirror again.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Jet opts to do shortly. We're getting the first chest in Mire, and it is our fourth and final bottle.
Oh
Being a
yeah,
red
you
potion,
can just climb back
convenient.
up because you're already on the right-hand side. Yeah. I was confused there for a second. Like, they don't have the
Yeah,
hookshot.
it's
How do they
not
get to
too
the
bad.
east side? Oh, duh. They're already there.
Oh, Christos missing a fire rod shot. Still has plenty of time to light the last two. Man, boots on laser bridge. This is really cruel.
Looks like Jet may be opting to use the Cane of Brian strats to make this a little easier. Finds the boots.
And instantly puts them to use to get to that last chest before magic runs out. Okay. Jet.
Jet is taking the death warp. It looks like he may have the presence of mind to be thinking about that hookshot chest. Though maybe he's thinking about going to the lava chest.
Nope. Saving and... Oh yeah, he still has the key. That's right. So I really like this, checking this chest as the last one. Because now he'll just be able to reset. And if Trinex is required, well, you still got that key. And you didn't waste a whole bunch of time like putting off the rest of this.
Right.
And
It's a
yeah, did you
much
see
more efficient algorithm. Did I see what?
Oh, okay. I'll let you look at it later. Something happened. Okay, there's a small key.
To Thieves
To
Town!
Thieves
Oh my
Town!
goodness! So that right there puts the pedestal in the logic. Okay, that puts the pedestal in the logic. Because the Thieves Town map is technically required for Thieves Town.
Yeah, you're right. And a full heart container. Oh man.
Was there an ice rod happening?
Yeah. The seed
Why?
is something.
Was it over in like the vanilla big key chest?
It was in the main room.
Oh my goodness. This seed.
Not out of the woods yet, or not going into the woods yet. I don't know. I'm going nowhere with this analogy. There's
I mean,
still
if they
one
go
more
into the
item
woods,
in
they're
Mire that
pulling
can
the-
save them.
If they go into the woods, they're pulling the silly pedestal. Sorry.
So if I were Christos and had nothing else remaining, I'd go check the pedestal and then the Thieves Town big chest, because Christos still has not completed Thieves Town. There's quite a bit in the back.
Right. And
Of course, we know
Christos knows
nothing's
that
there.
Christos knows that the logic locks all but one of those items behind the small key. So I think leaving that was actually a pretty good call. And, you know, from what we've seen, it actually was a pretty good call.
Yep. Especially if the big chest has something.
So Jet is going to do Eastern first. Nothing wrong with that play.
Yeah, good play. Some nice spin strats.
Getting to Vidi, still no silvers. That's kind of sad.
Oh, just narrowly misses the 0 cycle there, where Vitreous does not shoot any lightning at you. And is Christos saved or is he not? It is. a compass. So, we have a possible situation where the Thieves Town big chest contains the fourth and final T-Rock small key, putting the pedestal, the green pendant, and Trinex all together in the logic.
That would be ridiculous and possible.
Yeah, wait, no, we also have, I forgot about this. We still have the one chest way up in Hookshot Cave that we can bonk to.
Oh,
Either way,
Hookshot
all of these
Cave
locations are awful. All of them. Nobody wants to check any of these.
As you predicted, ChristosOwen is in fact going to check the pedestal, because at this moment, that seems like a reasonable possibility, and you want to make sure that this is or isn't your goal.
We got two possibilities here. We can have the Hookshot or the Swamp Palace small key, or absolutely nothing. What's it going to be? It is Couch Cash.
Just couch cash, ladies and gentlemen. The pedestal is dead, but the hype is not. Because have you seen the trolls this thing has been throwing at them? Oh,
wait.
Is Christos going for the Hookshot Cave?
Oh, okay, yeah, he's doing Hookshot Cave. All right. If he goes and kills Trinex before, like, heading into Thieves Town, that's a crazy play.
I mean, he could go for Trinex.
He could, yeah, he definitely could.
That's certainly not out of the question. But I think the Hookshot Cave is also on his mind.
Yeah, I wonder how, like, both these runners are feeling with the way the seed is going. Like, they feel like, oh man, I'm so far behind, like, with this second, potentially third T-Rock dip. And, oh, yeah.
I do love seeing Hookshot in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah.
That would be fun too.
Yeah, because right now the only thing Hookshot even unlocks is the rest of the items in Hookshot Cave. So, at least as far as the next progression goes, that would be pretty poetic. Like getting the Hookshot and then Hookshot to the next chest, and surprise, it's the Swamp Palace small key. Here we go. Christos has made it in. Sword beams on Blueberry. And it is an arrow upgrade.
A lot of garbage.
The answer is either off of Trinex or inside
I think it's the Thieves Town big chest.
Yeah, but Christos is doing it. Christos is going to kill Trinex.
Like, I think the Thieves Town big chest might be the final T-Rock key, and in which case, Christos is making the right move. And
yeah, either way, that chest had to have something. Christos right now is hoping that it was, or what's in Thieves Town is the fourth T-Rock small key.
Okay, so let me rephrase. Okay, Thieves Town big chest has the Ice Palace big key. Ice Palace big chest has the Turtle Rock small key.
Okay, that would be an excellent sequence to completely dodge.
Yeah.
But there's an equally likely possibility that the Thieves Town big key chest has the Ice Palace big key, which leads to the Swamp Palace small key. And for what these runners have had to go through, I sincerely hope that is not the case.
At the very least, we know that we will have a largely uneventful Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, we're gonna have everything by that point. Yeah, but if T-Rock and Trinex turns out to be nothing, this puts Jet right back into the game. Provided he goes there first. All right. Down the final set of stairs for Christos. Jet watching the longest cutscene in the game.
Unfortunately, they're not going to have to full clear Ganon's tower for this.
No, there it is. There's the ice rod. I thought it was in the big room. No, the torch room.
Mainly on account of the fact that they need to clear swamp to get into Ganon's tower.
Yep. Yeah, nothing can be blocking them in GT. Silvers could be in there, but who needs silvers at this point? You just want that hook shot.
All
And
right,
here we go.
Christos beats Trinex. What does he drop?
A piece of heart.
A piece of heart, but he's got the green pendant. This is not over.
Yeah, you're already all in on Trinex. You go turn in that green pendant right away. And Jet continuing to pick up his whole pile of nothing in Mire.
Except for
Other than the Thieves Town small key. That's right, yeah. That's a little important.
All right, let's go see what Saha Azralla has to offer today.
I'm holding my breath. What is it?
Another
piece of
heart. Trinex
no.
is a bust.
And this is potentially huge for Jet.
So it looks like the Thieves Town big chest is the answer here today.
And it can only have a handful of things. It's either going to be the Hookshot, or the Ice Palace big key, or the Swamp Palace small key. I don't think it could be anything else.
To the best of my knowledge, that is correct.
If it's the Ice Palace big key, I need to give both these runners a big hug because nobody deserves to go through this. Christos is going to have to clear the rest of it first. I'm really surprised that he put off Thieves Town in favor of going up and checking the two locations, like up on Turtle Rock. I'll have to talk to him afterwards and see what his thought process was behind that.
I mean, I think we basically went through his thought process. He's like, you know, if something is important in the Turtle Rock big chest, it might be the fourth T-Rock small key, right?
Right.
Which would be a wonderful thing to sequence break around.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, so Jet finishing up Misery Mire. And this is the moment of truth. If Jet takes that Thieves Town small key and heads directly to Thieves Town, he still has a shot.
Now, unfortunately, he's only got one thing he hasn't checked in Thieves Town.
Yep.
Whereas Christos has 4.
But when your possibilities are head all the way up to Death Mountain, kill Trinex, check one item in Hookshot Cave, or go into Thieves Town, could go either way. And we'll see momentarily what he decides to do. No doubt going to be grabbing that flute.
To 3.
Go to 3, Jet. It is
1.
He's going to Death Mountain. And Christos getting that information. What is lying? It's a small key to Swamp Palace. There it is.
Swamp Palace small key. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be seeing a dip into swamp. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Swamp Palace big key in vanilla location. So on the left side.
Okay.
Big chest, Ice Palace big key, Hookshot in the Ice Palace big chest.
That is a possibility, and something I hope we do not see. I've seen enough to last me centuries with the troll that has been present in this seed.
That's true.
But it's definitely possible.
The pedestal has been checked. It is just a couch cache.
Yep, and Jet.
Jet not even bothering with Hookshot Cave, just going straight to Trinex.
Yeah, this is quite a play from Jet here. He knows that Lava Room chest is nothing, so just hoping what he needs is on Trinex, and unfortunately we know the answer lies within Thieves Town. And Christos heading straight to Swamp, not because it's just a really good play, but because it's pretty much the only play remaining in the game is Swamp Palace. So get your guesses in. Are we going to find Go Mode, or are we going to find the Ice Palace Big Key?
Everybody hates Swamp.
Yeah.
Swamp is a pit of garbage in the middle of nowhere that requires so many unique items, and the logic is just like, nope.
Christos successfully drained the swamp.
Which is more than we can say for current... never mind. We're not getting into politics here.
Now we already know that the first item here is just a full heart container, something Jet checked a while ago when he was still on the hunt for the hammer. But now, Christos descending into the further reaches of Swamp Palace. What are we going to find in the first chest? Well, chest number 2, but the first new chest, Piece of Heart. There are 4 more locations, actually no, 3 more, right, without the big key, that he has access to. One of them has to have something. We will be seeing the Hookshot, or potentially the Ice Palace Big Key. Gotta be one of those 2 and nothing else.
Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous from where I'm sitting.
And Jet, pretty clean phase 1. A couple sword spins, and Trinex will go down. He'll be rewarded with, what was it, a Piece of Heart in here? It was like
yeah.
a Piece of Heart, and then Sasha also had...
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, location number 3 in Swamp Palace. Coming up for Christos. Everybody pay attention. What can it be? Are we going to be venturing to the left side of Swamp Palace? It's the Hookshot! Ladies and gentlemen, Christos has entered Go Mode at 1 hour and 58 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, I defy anybody to sub-2 this seed.
You could be the luckiest person alive and still have a tough time doing that.
So Christos will be just, stampeding right through Swamp Palace. I don't expect him to check much, if anything, along the way.
17 hearts, red mail, tempered sword. The most I could see is potentially checking the chest right before the boss area. Hope maybe you get silvers, but outside of that,
Yeah.
I don't expect too much out of the way checks from Christos.
Right. I might expect him to check some stuff on the way up again. Oh, there they are! Wow! The luck sack is real.
Well, any hopes of a difficult Ganon's Tower were just thrown away because Christos now has silver arrows. Unbelievable. What a convenient spot. So, this feels kind of like a plan, though, to an extent. Like, you've gone through this insane seed all over the place, and you get a little bit of a saving grace in Swamp Palace with Hookshot being into position, preventing you from going to the left side, as well as silver arrows in the easiest chest to get outside of the validation chest. Man,
At this point, there is not anything else left in the game that you would go out of your way to check chests for. So I expect ChristosOwen to waste no more time getting to Ganon.
that may see one chest in GT. The last one, Baby Buttersword, who knows?
Jet is about to blind pull this thing. Jet is about to blind pull himself a big 20. Could be 50, but I think it's a big 20.
Big 20. There it is. I didn't catch if Jet has turned in his green pendant yet.
I don't think so.
Christos getting trolled by these dead rocks, one of the most annoying enemies in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty much the worst.
Yeah.
Unless it happens to be one of your goals to kill one of them.
Alright, Jet heading into Thieves Town. So we'll unlock the key to his go mode. And I can't imagine he'd head anywhere but directly to Swamp Palace after this ordeal.
So, most of the time I would get onto people for going up Death Mountain on the dark side, but Christos got trolled by dead rocks enough already.
Yeah, I can't blame him. It's a little bit slower, but, you know, whatever. Don't have to worry about anything blocking your way. Yeah, 17 hearts, red mail, tempered sword, silverless, Ganon's tower, and gauntlet. And Ganon. Gonna be pretty much a cakewalk for Christos. Something incredibly tragic would have to happen for Christos to lose this one, so most likely we will be heading into a game 3 between these two. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with like the way dead rocks work, yeah, if you hit them, they become a rock, and you can't do anything about it. But if you have the magic powder, you sprinkle a little dust on them, they will turn into something that you can kill. It's the only way to deal with them.
You can also quake them.
Oh yeah, you can. Quake has the same effect as powder on them. And look at that, 4 small keys to GT. Doesn't have to waste his time checking anything else. Just a straight shot right to Agatu.
So, in the event of a game 3, which seems likely at the moment, it will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So everybody get hyped for that.
Christos taking the fall. But gets those iframes to just dash straight across the cannonball bridge. Now we're going to see a gauntlet run from Christos that I'm sure is going to be incredible to watch.
So one of the things that makes this gauntlet so frustrating is they basically picked the enemies that have basically the most RNG to their movement patterns.
Yeah, and then throw it on ice as well. And then have like 2 things shooting at you. Yeah, that's fine. Though this is my least favorite addition, is having this little guy on the bottom left shooting lasers at you, actually no, balls at you. I think they're supposed to be fireballs, but I have no idea what they actually are.
Yeah, they're fireballs. The main reason I say that is because the shield that blocks them is the fire shield.
Right. They always look pink to me, at least to my eyes.
And these runners could have the fire shield if they really wanted it, because the graveyard ledge had a shield. But, meh. Who cares?
Nobody wants a shield.
I mean, I want a shield, but I'm bad at the game.
Okay, alright.
So.
These runners don't want a shield. They're in the semifinals. They're perfectly fine going through this game with the absolute least amount of equipment possible.
So what was the main thing here that gave Christos the win?
It was definitely the hammer being where it
Right.
was. Well, Jet,
Hammer.
meanwhile, just got the hook shot, so go mode for him at 2 hours and 5 minutes. Fortunately, not going to be enough to bring him back into this game, as Christos is already at the end of the gauntlet, dropping some bombs.
Yeah, Christos running some bomb strats, reminiscent of what happened in that Plando the other day.
Hey, look
Hey,
at
the 4th T-Rock small key. Confirmation that you did not need that.
I'm really surprised Christos opened that chest. Maybe we'll get butter here from the validation.
Butter sword wouldn't hurt anything.
10
Extra
Pyro
bombs,
upgrade.
not really.
Not even extra bombs, just the potential to have extra bombs.
I want to see ChristosOwen drop every single bomb he has in the Ganon fight. That would be fun.
Well, as Christos heads on to Aga 2, I'm going to bring your attention back to Jet's screen. Let's see if he opts to open up this last chest and get silvers. No, he's bypassing it, so no silvers for Jet.
Ooh, the triple from Christos on that
Beautiful.
Aga 2 fight.
And a double, one more hit. There he goes, Aga 2
Nicely
down,
done.
only Ganon remaining. Yeah, very... What are you doing to Aga, Christos? That's not nice. He's already down. He was just a puppet for Ganon. Did nothing wrong.
Puppet Ganon. I thought that was a different game.
Well, it was based off of this game.
Oh, okay.
I know
Because
Ganon
Wind Waker-
says... Yeah, Puppet Ganon is one of the final, like, gauntlet bosses of Wind Waker. But I know, like, Ganon in this game says something about his Aga form. I don't know if he
Right.
said, like, puppet. He said something similar to it.
One of
Here
the
we go,
things that Ganon
Christos.
can say here is a paraphrase of that.
Yeah.
Christos on the Ganon fight. Phase 1 down, no problem. 12 slashes to destroy Ganon for Phase 2. I think he might be a little short for Phase 3. Yeah.
Yep. That's sitting at 3.5
Could have
hearts.
got up in the corner.
Yeah, 3.5
Yeah.
hearts. Does have to be a little careful. But he's into
Hookshot
phase
ivory.
3, so yeah, he's in the clear now.
Yeah,
Stop
once you
teleporting,
freak Phase
Ganon.
3.
Come on. They've been through enough. I've lost count. I was trying to count them, but no, he just keeps going.
I think it was 10. Which is ridiculous.
Well, Ganon, I hope you're satisfied. I hope you're done. Just stop teleporting around. There you go. Good Ganon.
11 people are saying. Did we find the arrows in Swamp Palace? We sure did.
Well, Christos did. That's one arrow hit. Oh, getting set up for the triple. Just narrowly misses it. And there we go. Ganon down for Christos. He will be walking away with the victory in the second game, pushing this to a game 3. Congratulations to Christos. We'll get a final time here shortly.
There we go. ChristosOwen finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 5 seconds.
And
Well
we're going to
played.
game 3. So, for those of you who wanted more Keysanity, well, your wish has been granted. And Jet now entering GT. Pausing for a moment, he sees that his opponent has finished. Man, that was a seed.
Yeah, Jet and Christos having a little bit of a conversation on the SRL chat. Jet telling Christos that he was entering Ganon's tower right as the dot done happened. Christos is gonna go get a little bit of fluids, and then join us in chat momentarily.
Yeah, but in the meantime, let's follow Jet as he proceeds to destroy the gauntlet, this time without silvers. A couple rage slashes on the Mimic can be a little annoying. Good call picking up the arrows. Jet was down to 1 at that moment. He still want at least a couple for the gauntlet. Especially lacking half magic. The fire rod, while very, very useful for the gauntlet, can be a little expensive. Probably want to save it for things like the land mode 2 fight, or of course lighting the torches, which you definitely need magic for. Clean room number 1 for Jet. Get some more arrows. Yeah. Makes it look so easy. Gets the snipe on the blue Zazak.
Yeah. Making use of these arrows because he knows he's not going to use them on Ganon.
Good point. Yeah, no silvers for Jet. Opted to skip the last chest inside Swamp Palace. And here we go. Switching to the fire rod for the land mode refight. Definitely the quickest option. But opting not to do it for all the kills because you still want the magic, at least enough magic, to light the 4 torches and use the Cane of Samaria in the next couple rooms. But so far, he has more than enough magic to handle it.
Alright, moving on to the Samaria Wizrobe rooms. Some of my favorite rooms in the game. This first one feels real good and is pretty easy to pull off. The second one, a little trickier. Requires a little practice to get it consistent.
Oh, convenient fairy drop for Jet. Doesn't have quite enough magic to use. Oh, okay. All right. Ran into a couple of the guards there. Avoids
and Christos is in the waiting room, so let's bring him on in. And we are now joined by the winner of our race, ChristosOwen. Congratulations!
Thank you. Wow. I'm surprised to have won. That was quite the marathon.
So the primary thing that got you that win there was you went up to Death Mountain first. You got an additional small key to Palace of Darkness from the old man, and you got the hammer when you went into pod the first time. Jet did not.
Oh, so Jet dipped pod without, and then left without the hammer the first time. Oh, because he had one
Right,
key.
right.
I see. And he opened the back door first, I guess.
Right, so he got the Ganon's Tower big key. It was like, sweet. But of course,
Wow,
no-
that's so
no hammer.
lucky.
that was pretty trolly, although it didn't lead him to too many other locations that he checked outside of that. So it ended up being pretty close.
This was so, like, everything was so spread out. Like, I was, the entire time, I was thinking, like, where is the progression? And we were just getting spoon-fed, like, a single key or just one item that didn't, and then, like, you go to all these places and it didn't really open anything. Like, when I got hammer, I was checking so much hammer locked stuff, and pretty much none of it gave me anything else until I went to hammer pegs. like
Yeah,
the very
how
last
are-
possible place.
How are you feeling when Hammerpegs turned out to be the Ether Medallion?
I wasn't I wasn't expecting either. I was expecting a hookshot, or I don't even remember what else I didn't need at that time.
Swamp
But like,
small key, something like that.
yeah, like I was expecting. Well, I was hoping not to
Flute.
find hook before swamp small key, but yeah, flute. I thought I was going to find a lot earlier. Given that I had Mire big key, a bunch of small keys for it as well, and at that point I hadn't done desert either. Which was also interesting. That book was just a complete red herring and didn't lead me to anything at all,
Yeah,
other than beating desert.
serious debated by the book there. It was like, what?
But, yeah.
So, Christos, going back earlier on, wanted to touch on a couple points. So, one, on your first visit to Pod, there's a little bit of back and forth between heading into the Harmless Hellway and then going and doing the maze room. Like, were you thinking of, like, okay, I'm going to go do the Death Warp, or should I open it, or should I skip it? What was going through your mind there?
I only had one key, and I needed to check both doors. Well, I wanted to keep one key for Helmasaur for later on. And it was pretty conservative because there were still 2 pod keys to be found, because I'd only found 4 so far. But I just wanted to Death Warp so that if there was nothing in the Harmless Hellway, I wouldn't have to worry about pod keys. And once I found the big key, I could just come straight back and
Right.
breathe
And
through.
you did a similar thing in Turtle Rock, but of course that kind of caused you to miss the boots the first time.
Yeah, my Turtle Rock was really, really bad for me again.
Jet
I did-
actually went through and cleared out the laser bridge and then went back for that chest and did the death thing as well. So,
Yeah, I realized that afterwards. After I'd done my route, I was like, wait a minute, like I couldn't even gone to Trinex yet because I didn't have Ice Rod, so I should have just gone down to the basement first, mirrored back to the exit, or like Death Walked back to the exit by the big chest, and then check the chest. That would have been a lot quicker than climbing the mountain again, especially with that hookshot.
Yeah.
So that was bad. But it was really annoying because yesterday's game was down to like that chest. It wasted a lot of time for me, and it did again today, even though I did the opposite thing and Death Walked before it. But I still didn't Death Walk the most efficient way possible. Keysanity is horrible.
Yeah, so
oh,
go ahead, Bob. Go
Okay,
ahead, Bob.
so you, speaking of which, we just saw Jet enter Phase 4, and that reminded me, how did you feel about picking up those silver arrows where you did?
Oh, that was great. Like, that was just like, here you go, you've had a terrible seed, here's some icing on the cake. So,
Yeah,
Because
Swamp
Jet
House was
did not
5
check
points.
those.
oh, he didn't? Oh, come on. You have to check that chest if you need a sword or silvers. I do it all the time anyway. I would never skip that chest.
Yeah,
If
it's
it
a
could
really
be
fast
helpful.
one. All right, anyway, Jet has crossed the finish line. Get an official time for him shortly.
Jet082 finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 47 seconds.
All right, so Christos, you've gone through Turtle Rock. You got the flute. You got the Eastern Palace big key. You run through Mire and you discover the Ice Rod and the Thieves Town small key. What drove you to head up to T-Rock, check the Hookshot Cave chest, and finish off Trinex versus heading into Thieves Town, which you still had not done the second half of?
Right, so there's quite a lot going through my head when I made that decision. So the first part is that if there was something in the back of Thieves Town, like excluding big chest, like it didn't even cross my mind about a big chest. Like the Jet might have gone in and not had that chest, and that might have been the one thing. In my head, I just thought I've delayed Thieves Town so much so that if that was the answer, like there's no way I can win. So I just was like gambling against Thieves Town being anything. Until it was pretty much the very last thing I could do. And then, like, it really didn't occur to me that the big chest was that significant.
Yeah, so we're for the last.
Because I didn't really, in my head, I wasn't keeping track of where I found the Thieves Town big key. Was that in Turtle Rock? Like, where even was the Thieves big
I
key?
It
think
was
Thieves Town
pretty early.
Real early.
Yeah, it was very early. It was the small key that led to the
small key.
yeah,
That's what I meant.
the small
sorry.
key was in Misery Mire, which was locked behind Turtle
Oh,
Rock
in Maya.
visit.
Okay. Gotcha. So that was kind of one part. I was kind of avoiding Thieves Town. And then the other part was, well, two more things. One, the seed was just so trolly. I was like, I'm just going to follow the worst possible outcome ever and go back to Turtle Rock. But then when I thought about...
I'm going to bring in Jet here in a second, so...
Yeah, sure. When I was weighing up item placements, I still needed the Hookshot and the Swamp Small Key. And I knew that one of them was probably going to be in Thieves Town. Or like one of the random locations that I hadn't checked, and if they were there, I just did a little chance. So I thought there was pretty good odds that I would find either the Hookshot or the Swamp Small Key in Turtle Rock, because both could have led to something. So Swamp Small Key could have been at Trinex. Swamp Small Key could have been. What am I trying to say? Turtle Rock Small Key could have been in Thieves Town, and then Trinex could have led to like the Hookshot. And then Swamp Small Key could have been in Hookshot Cave. Like the outcome that I got was the one I really didn't want, where it was just a small key in Thieves Town.
So we are now joined by jet082. Congratulations on finishing and
finishing that seed.
yeah.
Oh, good game, Jet. That was.
I
brutal.
defy anyone to sub to this.
Oh my god. Honestly, I was expecting the loss the moment I picked up the hammer, and the fact that it was over 2 hours was just weird. I really should have realized we didn't have a Turtle Rock Small Key. I saw 3 items going to Trinex, so I'm like, there's decent odds I'm gonna get, Hookshot or Swamp Small Key. I might as well just go here. And actually, based on how you were playing yesterday, Christos, I was expecting you to sort of avoid the Pendant Dungeon. So I was sort of hoping Pedestal was the dream again.
Yeah. I made the same kind of decision about going back to Turtle Rock when we had Thieves Town versus Turtle Rock, 3 items, and I figured it was good odds. Like, I realized that it wasn't in the logic yet, but I thought, well, I'm hoping that Turtle Rock Small Key is in Thieves Town, and I can just sequence break. But,
I mean, how good of a plando is that, though, where you have to go to Turtle Rock to get boots, to go to Mire, to get Ice Rod, and then go back to Turtle Rock to finish it? Like, that is plando logic.
Yeah, no, this
it
seed
felt
played
like
you guys like a fiddle.
Like, I don't feel like I routed badly, except for like going to Turtle Rock and it had nothing. Like, my routing was okay. It wasn't great, but I don't think I could have saved 10 minutes of time. Like, without knowing stuff in advance. I don't think I could have subdued that. I didn't really make any huge blunders. It was just horrible with where everything was.
I went in the pod and I did everything but the hammer chest because I had no key for it. And I think if I had gone... So I went north route to check Catfish and Pyramid on the way to pod. I think if I had went south route and also picked up the big key while I was there, it was just... Overall, I was just making, like, stupid routing decisions. But I think if I had went south, I think there was a pod small key somewhere down there.
I don't think so. Where Christos got his was off of the old man. He actually sequence broke that.
Okay.
And got
There was 2 by the time I went back for hammer. Which is how I knew it was within logic.
Yeah, the other one...
Was in ice.
Yeah, ice.
Oh my gosh. Old man. There was nothing then I could have done.
Yeah, everything was almost as far spread out as it could have been in this seed. It was always the last place.
That's interesting that you didn't go to the mountain early, Jet. Because yesterday you went there super early, and I didn't. And we did the opposite today. That's kind of funny.
Well, I didn't want to go up to Death Mountain because we had nothing. I didn't have Mire at the time. So I'm like,
I
just
had
for
Mire
2 items. Did I have Mire? Where?
The Mire was Skullwoods.
Yes, Skullwoods. Second half,
Oh, yeah,
right
no, I
before
had
Mothula.
Yeah, because I went into Eastern early, got Fire Rod, and then once I found my sword, I went and beat Mothula. So I guess I had Mire. I could have went up. But I decided to do pod first. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure you
it
went into
was
pod
a good
first
play,
before you beat Mothula.
Yeah, I remember using the Mire. That's why I went to North Rock. So I'm like, I can check the Graveyard Ledge, which is something I seldom do. It really depends on what I have. And I'm like, now is the time for me to check that ledge. Yeah. So I had Mire. So, okay. So the play was Death Mountain first, the sequence break to get the key, and then go to pod. for dreams.
Yeah. So you had a much better time routing Turtle Rock than your opponent.
Again.
The electing to clear out every chest that you could, and then do the death strats.
Yeah.
Whereas
So I-
Christos
Good chance
died
there was
the
something in
chomp
that
room.
chest, and I was
Yeah.
really worried this was a pedestal seed.
So I did this pretty poorly. Like I did everything in the first little bit, and then death warped to Chomps, and then went to the lava chest, and then I did a hard reset, and then I went to Mire, and then I had to go back to Turtle Rock a second time to go down to Laser Bridge, and then got the boots. Not Mire. I went somewhere else and found something after doing the. What did we find in the first part of? Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock?
A flute and Eastern Palace Big Key.
Yeah, there was some good stuff in the first 3 chests.
Oh, that's
And then-
what I did. Yeah, so I left Turtle Rock the first time, and then did Mire area, but couldn't go into Mire because I still didn't have boots or hook. And then did Eastern, and then I went back to Turtle Rock to get boots, and then did Mire, found the Ice Rod, and then went back to Turtle Rock for a third time to kill Trinex. It was horrible.
So
The-
throughout that
The
race,
multi-dip
like,
is real. Go
yeah,
ahead.
throughout that race, I guess this is a question for both of you. You know, you're getting close to the 2-hour mark, still like missing Hookshot, still missing like the small key. Like, how are you feeling? We're like, oh man, like, keep on looking at the Astral chat. Someone's got to be dot done like any time now.
I was
What's going through your head?
expecting it not done. Every time, like, I'm like, why is he
Same.
not done this yet? What is this seed that he's not done yet?
When it hit like 145, 150, I was like, kept
Yeah.
glancing at it. I was like, it's coming in any second. It has to be. Like when we hit 2 hours, I was like, right, well, I'm actually in for a good shot here, I guess, if Jet's still not done. I was like, but then when I found obviously what the answer was, I was like, okay. I obviously didn't know the hammer lost you a bit of time, but I mean,
Yeah.
if that hadn't have happened, we probably would have been neck and neck, I guess.
Honestly, I was getting my hopes up a little bit until I decided to waste time killing Trinex and checking Ped. When I realized it was out of logic, I'm like, well, maybe the Thieves' big chest has the Turtle Rock small key, and this is all within logic. But as I mentioned, we were missing maps and stuff, so the chance of it being a pedestal seed was incredibly low. I just had no idea.
Right. So Jet, I had to ask, did you find the 4th T-Rock key?
Yeah, it's upstairs.
Yeah.
Upstairs G2.
Hilarious.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, of course this isn't a pedestal seed.
So did you find Silver's, Jet?
No, apparently they were in swamp somewhere.
They were in the easy chest to get to, the one in the waterfall room.
Oh, well, Christos wasn't done yet, so I'm like, just go, don't check anything, just go.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like, I always check that one chest on the off chance it's Silver's or a sword,
Okay.
and it was Silver's, and I was like, wow, like that is such a slim chance. It's pretty funny.
It was the reward the seed was giving to you for what
Yeah.
you guys have been through. Except
Well,
for
one
Jet.
of us
Sorry,
got that
Jet.
reward.
I'm just hoping for a quicker game to decide, like one that isn't so trolly and slow.
I don't know. I think the trolleys are in my favor. More trolls, please.
But you're
There's
Jet.
no-
You went
no
out for the
trolls with
Jet
hammer.
seeds. What is this?
No trolls with hammer.
But yeah, one of the reasons I didn't hit Thieves Town early either is I still never found Thieves Town map. So I knew that blind wasn't yet in the logic. So I did. So I hit blind. Yeah, I hit Thieves early, but just did the first 4 and then Death walked out.
Okay.
Even though I had the big key. The reason I did that is because the only weapon I had to kill blind at the time was Brian, and I didn't have magic. So I was like, well, that's a huge risk to go through there. So I left Thieves Town then.
And only
And-
one other chest is in logic with just the big key, right? It's the one next to blind, right?
Right, the Maiden.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Well, the one in the attic, and
Well, that's
Well,
not
you
within
could-
logic without the small key.
Yeah.
well,
You could,
the more
you
you know.
could-
I didn't know that.
You could potentially leave the
Oh, I
you
see.
could potentially
Yeah.
use the small key on the big key door, big key chest door. And
I mean, who does
Open the
that?
chest.
But yeah.
I mean, not smart people.
the people who coded the algorithm thought of that, right, Christos?
Something like that. I've given very little thought to Keysanity stuff. Like, I just dealt with all the normal game modes, and then VTalk was like, hey, I've made this new game mode. It's called Keysanity. Keys can be anywhere. And he kind of did most of the logic himself for that, even though they now share the same.
So after playing through this, like, what are your feelings towards VTORP?
Actually, I have to say,
no comment.
no, I'm with VT on this because he gave us a B in the seed, and I actually used it to kill Moth.
Oh, that's true. I did too. But
Oh, really? Nice.
But
I was so excited.
he launched Mothula towards me, and I'm like, I think this is a horrible idea because I actually hugged Mothula twice because of the bee.
Yeah, I think Christos just used it for the final blow. Jet used it kind of in the middle, got about 4 or 5 shots in that way.
Yeah, I was down to 1 heart. That was a little risky. I ended up going into Thieves, and we had Kane. I had Kane at the time, and I was opting just to leave, but then I got some magic, and I'm like, let's just do it. I didn't actually know it was a pendant though.
If I had had Samaria when I went in, I would have done the same. I would have finished it for sure. But yeah, I didn't Brian. So I didn't do Skullwoods because didn't have a sword, and I thought the chance of the sword being there was pretty slim. So then I went into Thieves Town, bailed, and then did like South Loop to Hype Cave, found a sword, and then went to Skull, got my cane, finished that, got my Mire, and then pretty much never went back to Thieves Town until like way later on, right at the end.
So I'm sure you guys have been asked this before, but I wasn't here, so I wanna know the answer. How do you guys feel about the differences between 28 and 29 as far as Keysanity goes?
Personally, I didn't play enough of 28, and I've really not played it. I haven't played a single game of Keysanity outside of the tournament for V29 either. So for me, it's not too different.
Yeah, I haven't noticed too much difference when it comes to Keysanity. I
I
mean,
guess-
the map and compass thing is interesting. It's just that because I'm not tracking that, only now and then I'll notice like, oh, I got the compass for this dungeon. It's probably within logic type thing.
Yeah, has that ever affected your decision at all throughout these races?
I feel like it should, but especially with how many chests I ended up checking before go mode, it's like it really should have informed me. I had no idea. And I also feel like you get less hearts early on because of it. Since
Yeah.
it feels like compasses and maps are sooner, which is good for the information, but it also makes the beginning a little harder until you actually get some hearts or tunics or something.
Right. I also find that rupees are pretty scarce early on too. Like
Oh,
I'm usually
gosh,
struggling for
How about
Zora
that
and
flipper?
Merchant.
How about that flippers in Sanctuary chest? Was anybody planning on doing a Houlihan route? Because that didn't happen.
Oh, that it just denied. No, I don't do the whole thing usually, but
No, I pretty much never do that either. Yeah, it's pretty lucky. I had like 520 when I was heading to Zora, so
yeah,
just enough
same.
without farming.
Yeah,
So that worked
the
out pretty nice.
mini Moldorm cave just kind of handed it to you. It's like, here you go. We know where you're going.
But yeah, I was feeling really good early on because I did Eastern before I did the South Loop. And the value in Eastern was crazy, like the bow
Was,
and the
yeah.
fire rod and the bombo. So I was like, wow. And then I did probably the best thing I've ever done in my life in this game,
Yes.
which was Mini Moldorm Cave with just 4 arrows. I just hit every single one really quickly, and it looked so good.
That was very
Yeah.
good.
Speaking
Speaking of arrows,
Oh yeah, I
No,
also did the archery game.
Wait,
Twice.
did you do the archery game?
Yeah, to farm rupees for the digging game, and I got like a map or something.
I was pretty sure.
But
it was-
I
that
missed one
should be-
arrow. I missed the 3rd arrow, so I had to play it twice.
Oh
that
my
2v2
gosh.
bingo practice paying off. Right there.
I completely forgot I did that. I was like laughing to myself at the time, but I was like, "Ugh, I'm not leaving digging game and having to come back later. It's so far out the way, like no boots, no hammer. I can't get here quickly. Like,
I did that, and I walked the route so much because of missing hammer. So many times I village outcast, walk to something, and I had no great way of routing everything together.
I guess if you went to pod early and then had to get back, then that was still your only spawn point. Yeah.
Well, so I did things like let me check the magic bat, without hammer, which sort of puts you in an awkward position. Let me go get that big key in the lake, hoping it was Eastern, but no, it's desert. I'm like, I can't do anything about that.
Oh, I got lucky with that. I forgot it going. Like, I swam from like Hype Cave to Pod,
Okay.
and just forgot to get the big key. And then I was going back to ice a bit later on, and then I was just swimming. Like, I saved and quit to Link's house and was just going to swim there. And then I was like, oh wait, there's a key on the island. And then I had to go back and warp and get the big key. Like, that was pretty bad routing, but it's like monkey see, monkey do. I was like, oh, there's a key. Of course, I should get that.
All right, so, well, guys, we know we're going to have a third match tomorrow afternoon or evening for Christos. You guys looking forward to that one?
Sure.
They better
I
be.
hope it's better than this one.
Not right now, but once I've rested,
Yeah,
sure
I
I'll
hear
feel up for
that.
it.
Also, can somebody tell Ganon to stop taking caffeine or something because he kept warping around?
Oh, he did. Like, I stopped moving, and then really, like, the time I stopped moving, because I'm like, oh, he's still warping. Yesterday, I did it, and the one, like, as soon as I stop, he stops too. I was like, and he did it again today. I was like, come on, dude. And then he threw the fire bats out because of it.
All
Alright.
right. So I think it's about time to wrap things up. What do you guys think?
Yes, agreed.
All right.
Yep. I think we've had enough talking about this wonderful experience we've had today. Dr.
Yeah.
Bobtastic, thank you for being a wonderful co-commentator today. Everybody be sure to give this guy a follow. As far as upcoming events on Speed Gaming Network, well, if you haven't had enough Keysanity today, we're going to have Andy versus Pika Pals match number 2 tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Of course, the rematch, the final match of Christos versus Jet will be taking place tomorrow at 4 p.m. Over on Speed Gaming 2, we have Ori and the Blind Forest pretty much all day long. So if you like Ori, that's the place to be. Coming up on Speed Gaming, this channel right here, in about 20 minutes, we're going to have Mega Man 2. And then on Speed Gaming 3, we got a whole bunch of stuff, Super Metroid, Mega Man X4, Final Fantasy 1. Just a ton of stuff happening today. Don't miss it. And Dr. Bobtastic, any final thoughts?
Well, I just want to thank Christos and Jet for showing off their running today. I'd like to once again thank everyone here for watching. And of course, I'd like to thank Feasel for running the restream and Synac for running the tracker today. The tracker is a thankless job and it's always appreciated. So thank you very much. And of course, thank you, Fant, for your excellent commentary today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Bob. Yeah, well, that does it for us here. Everybody, look forward to seeing you for the next match. Be sure to tune in tonight. Andy versus Pika Pals. See you then.
See you later.